What was next?
Well, it was the last movie to be
Oh,
announced.
there one last. So Tom Rothman, they thought they were done, and Tom Rothman comes out and says, to pull our Steve Jobs, we've got one more thing. And they bring out the director of 1917. And did he do?
He did American Beauty, Skyfall, Spectre.
Skyfall. Sam Mendes. Sir Sam Mendes.
The ex-husband of Kate Winslet.
I didn't know he was married to Kate Winslet.
Oh. Did he do Goldeneye?
No. Martin Campbell did.
But he did.
So Sam Mendes comes out and they talk about the Beatles movie. Now, I don't care about the Beatles. I think they're the most overrated music thing ever in history. Don't get me wrong. I don't think they're bad. Not at all. I think they're quite good. I don't know. Their music never done it for me. Somewhere Scott Mance is screaming at me through his
and my dad
through his phone and your dad. Yeah, but that's just me. That's just me. But they're talking about they're doing this Beatles movie, and they're doing something really interesting. So you guys have probably heard they're doing multiple movies.
4.
They're doing 4. And they're all based around mostly the same events, but told from a different perspective of Ringo, Paul, George, and John, right? Mm-hmm. And it's going to be 4 films, which, number one, doing green lighting 4 films, I don't even know that these movies are going to do all that well, but that's a side note. But here's where it got really interesting. They're going to release all 4 films at the same time. Tom Rothman called it will be the first bingeable movie series, which, listen, I'm not convinced, guys, that this is a great idea, but it's an interesting idea that they're going to put all, so I guess it won't matter what order you watch them in. Again, listen, in an industry where there's really not a lot to innovate, because it's all kind of been done now, you just try to do it better. This is like one of the first truly original, out-of-the-box ideas.
It's crazy.
We're releasing 4 films in a franchise at the same time. I don't know if it's going to work. I have my doubts it's going to work. But man, I give them props for saying, you know what? This has never been done. Let's give it a shot. I thought that was really interesting. And we're going to talk about that. But then they did something I never expected. They announced the cast. And they said, we actually have the Beatles here, the new Beatles. They are Paul Mescal as Paul. Joseph Quinn as George. And likes that one. Then Barry Keoghan as Ringo. And a guy I've never heard of as who is it?
Harris Dickinson, who was in the Iron Claw. That's where I know him from.
What was? Oh, that was the wrestling one, Iron Claw.
Yeah.
Was he one of the brothers?
He was one of the Von Erich.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I knew when he came out on stage, I'm like, he looks a little familiar, but I don't know who this kid is.
Yeah.
So they gave us they brought the full cast, and literally they brought out these big movie stars, literally just walk on stage for 10 seconds, say a line, and do the Beatles bow, and that was it. And they're all coming out April of 2028, so still like 3 years away. 4 movies all at once. So Rob, listen, as a bit of a film historian, have you ever heard of anything like this before? Like,
no.
This is crazy.
I mean, I know. And I mean, excuse me. I think it makes sense from a Lord of the Rings standpoint because it's all the same time, era, people crossing over. So it's probably the best way to do it. But to release them all at once?
4 movies all the same time, dropping in theaters.
That's crazy. What if one doesn't do well?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. They're all coming out at the same time.
So. On the other hand, it'll be a cultural event.
Yeah.
What order did you see them in? Did you go back and see them in a different order? And did the movies work differently for you? It could be a Barbenheimer thing.
Mm.
I mean, I think it's a pretty great idea.
It's because here's the thing: if one does well, and if it's and this is a huge if it's really good, it's being directed by Sam Mendes. If it's really good and it's received well, that means all of them are going to do well. Because if you go to the George one and you loved it, are you not going back to the movies 2 days later to watch the Ringo one or the John one or the Paul one?
Or that
And he is Academy Award winning director.
Yes,
Mendez is a great director.
A knighted director.
Do we know what the budget is? Because this to me feels like instead of an 8-hour, 8-episode HBO show, they're just making 4 movies. They're going to film it all together, amortize the costs, and then boom.
Well, like a Complete Unknown was like 65 million.
Yeah.
Same period of time, but just in Britain.
The other thing is, it's like, will they all actually be 2-hour films, or will it be closer to the night? Like, are we looking at, in total, if we're looking at all 4 movies together, because they are making them all together, are we looking at closer to 6 hours or closer to 8 or pushing 8? You know, that is a tremendous, he said it's going to be the first bingeable theatrical experience.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
And they're going to shoot for a year.
Yeah, that's
it's
crazy.
a full, well, for 4 movies, that's reasonable. You know what? What's going to be interesting? I think they're going to be able to keep the cost relatively down, because if they've got it zipped up tight, then what you're doing is you're shooting a scene for the Paul movie, and then you're going to say, okay, now let's reset this. Now we're going to shoot the same scene, but the scene that's going to be in the George movie.
Yeah.
And let's do it with a slightly different perspective, and they're going to be able to probably maximize efficiency doing this. So
I don't believe enough of the movie is going to be that type of overlap, though. I think they're going to give you a lot of focus on each of the members, and then moments in time where they overlap. So efficiency-wise, maybe, but I think that's the way you're going to get people, because you have to focus on
because you're going to
individual.
Ringo's origin, George's origin, John's origin.
That's the most interesting part about what they're doing, is I believe their angles in each movie are so different that it warrants separate movies for each of them.
Yeah.
Which it's interesting I don't know what that angle is. I don't know how they're going to do it, but if it warrants 4 separate movies, it's got to be done right. I have no interest in watching Ringo or George. I want John and Paul, but they want to make a George and Ringo movie. I believe they're going to get me in that seat with the way they're going to be doing these. Right?
I agree.
Paul and John movies make $800 million. The Ringo movie makes $55 million. Poor Ringo.
Yeah,
nobody cares about Ringo.
Everyone's got their favorite in the band, and
everyone had their favorite.
But,
go ahead.
Go. I hope I do appreciate the lesser band members after these movies. I love movies that change my mind about things, or change the way, because Ringo could be more important than I ever thought he was. We'll see. I can't wait. I cannot wait. Maybe I'll start with Ringo.
Whenever I think about Ringo, all I think is that one scene. Have you ever seen that clip from Family Guy? It's like, it's kind of like the importance of Ringo to the Beatles. You see the 3 Beatles standing around, and Ringo comes in, hey guys, I wrote a new song. And then Paul, George, and John like, oh, that's great, Ringo. We're going to put it right up here on the fridge. Look at that. We're going to put it right there on the fridge. It's like, poor Ringo gets all the...
oh man, the casting... I'm so happy with the casting.
Casting was awesome.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I gotta say, the casting is, again, I was a little bit, who's playing John? But Joseph Quinn is in everything right now. Paul Mescal, obviously, I didn't love Gladiator 2, but I think he's a great actor. I just thought he was a little bit miscast, but he's a wonderful actor. And Barry Keoghan is just,
They're all
he's
British.
fantastic.
They ended it like that because they're hoping that would cover all the shit that they...
Well, Barry's Irish. I don't think he's British.
Oh, yeah,
He's
okay,
Irish,
fine.
And he had that sweet leather jacket. I was like, okay.
Oh, yeah. They're all dressed in black.
I think this is so innovative, so break frame from anything any studio's ever done. I think it's going to work. I really do.
I agree.
It's going to be insane to see the theaters, because I figure they're all going to come out on the same day, same time. Right?
I have a real question, though. Needs to be brought up. This is still how many years away?
3
years away. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the likelihood that they stick to this? They're all going to come out on the same day 3 years from now.
Well, okay. You know what?
gotta
I
do it.
should point out, if I'm going to be specific, Sam Mendes said the Paul movie will come out April of 28. The George movie will come out in April of
I
28.
think they're staggering weeks.
They
Separate weeks.
could be on separate weeks.
Which would be
He
great.
just said they all come out in April of 28. He didn't specify technically that they came out on the same day. I think they are going to drop them all on the same day, but they could be staggered 1 week apart.
Is this their like counter to new episodes like on streaming? Like come to the theaters every
Well, that's
week,
what they said.
right?
Yeah.
No, I just
They think it's a
it just hit
bingeable
me right
event.
now that's what they're doing.
It's an expensive thing
If
to do.
it's
but-
truly going to be a bingeable experience, then opening weekend you would need all 4 movies.
Yeah, and I want
Yeah.
April, May.
They want people to be able to go in Saturday at the 1 p.m. matinee, then watch the 4 p.m. of the other one, then the 7 p.m. and then the 9:30 p.m. and watch all 4 movies in the same day.
And on May 1st, they should drop it all on HBO Max.
Well, they did talk about windows. This whole theme was windows, so this theatrical window is probably going to be long because there's 4 movies. But
Is that the movie theater? Oh, we're getting off but that thing is that the movie theaters acknowledging the streaming?
No, I honestly think it's just something new to try. I think it's a really new, novel thing to do.
if it works, I've always wanted this with Harry Potter. I was telling Cody
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
When we saw each other, I said, I wish Harry Potter, they would do every perspective of every character in that
That's a long
franchise.
5,000 episodes.
That would be my dream, but this is kind of taking that model of you get the perspective of very
might get
different
that in the
characters.
series.
Yeah, you might get
Yeah.
that. See, Rob and I, though, you and I have talked literally for years about how we wish we could see studios try to commit to a series and shoot things at the same time,
Yeah.
become more efficient. I mean, this is kind of like the ultimate expression of that,
Yeah,
right?
I'm very curious about this.